N-O, no. Two simple letters, one simple word. So why is it so hard to say that to people sometimes? Here with tips for how to say no without feeling guilty, especially, ahead of the holiday season. Leadership coach Kendra Reddy is here with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Why is it so hard to say no?
I know, such a small little word packs such a big punch. I think using it feels risky and dangerous for two reasons. One, we're biologically hardwired to fear rejection, judgment, and disappointment from others. And we live in a society that favors yes and promotes positivity and teamwork and loyalty.
So true.
So it's a breeding ground for guilt and fear. But here's the deal. You can say no to the request without saying no to the relationship. Because no isn't the villain. It's an expression of your priorities, your values, your energy. You're drawing a line, not burning a bridge.
It depends how many times you say no to that person, though, does it not?
Well, so imagine saying this. Oh my gosh, I would love to say yes, but I can't. Here's what I might be able to do instead.
Oh.
Or, hey, that sounds really important. Let me think about it. When do you need to know by?
Okay.
That's not rejection.
Are you not delaying the no, though?
You can be delaying the no, but you're not rejecting. You're just redirecting, and you're showing self-respect for yourself and the other person.
So, touching on what you're saying right now, what are some common mistakes that people make when they're really trying to say no without feeling guilty?
Yeah, I think it's not so much no that's the issue. It's the charged and potent pause that comes after. We're bracing for someone's reaction, and that's usually when we bail out on ourselves. But when you say no and then scramble to explain yourself, you actually don't come across as nice and loyal. You come across as uncertain, and you create the energy of instability. It's like saying, oh, I don't really believe it either. So there is something very powerful about standing in the echo of a clear, conscious no and letting that silence remind you of how strong and courageous you are.
Standing in the echo. That's a beautiful way to say that. So obviously we're into holiday season now. Lots of invites coming in. We're talking about from friends and family. So let's talk about some strategies. Let's talk about effective ways of saying no.
Yeah. So an intentional no, it does require thought and planning. So start early and initiate conversations when the heat's low. You really have to look at no as an act of spiritual alignment. You're not being defiant. You're being devoted to the experience you want to have and life you want to create for yourself. So it's like saying, hey, listen, we're going to try on a couple of new traditions this year. Sorry, we can't make the party. Wish I could clone myself, but I can't. So respectfully, I'm a no.
I wish I could clone myself, but I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a difference between saying no, like if somebody asks you in person versus like an invite that comes over email?
I think regardless of whether it's in person or over email or who it comes from, people need to feel the truth in your words. And they need to trust that your yes is wholehearted and your no is grounded. Otherwise, they're going to keep testing no matter what mode you're talking over.
Right. Okay, so what if a person gets offended? Okay, you've said no, they get offended. What do you do?
Of course, it's going to happen. So expect backlash. I think that's part of the planning process. And then you have to really, it's a leadership skill to stand in that discomfort. Don't rush to backpedal or smooth it over. Let people feel whatever it is they need to feel. They asked you for something, you said no, it stings. That's okay.
That's nice to hear,
Then
honestly.
you can invite them back to the table. So listen, I don't really need you to understand this, I just need you to respect it. Where do we go from here? So you can say no and still find a way to move forward together.
So let's say we've said no. Like you've asked me to your party, I'm like, no. Are you allowed to have FOMO?
Yes.
Because then you see everyone posting, you're like, oh, you're allowed to have FOMO.
Yes, the FOMO is real, and it's a symptom of a world that glorifies overcommitting. So you got to flip the switch. Instead of fear of missing out on someone else's plans, get excited about your own choices. So like I'm like, it's not FOMO, it's OMO. I'm owning my own choices, owning my own boundaries, owning my own peace.
I love that.
Yeah.
Your wordplay is amazing.
Thank you.
Kendra Reddy, great to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.